Min Kim has 15 years of experience in the financial and technological industry. Min is the founder of Icon Project, that is a leading public blockchain project in the world. Previously, he was the Chief Strategy Officer of Daily Financial Group. It's the Korea's largest fintech holding company, and the Chief Operating Officer of Tapas Media, a US digital content distribution platform backed by Daum and SK Planet. Min started his career at Deutsche Bank's technology investment banking division in San Francisco. He received his BS in Business Administration from Haas School of Business at University of California, Berkeley. Welcome, Kim. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
Well, it's our pleasure. Also, we have as well today joining us Ko Nosawa Martinez. Ko is a tech entrepreneur and active investor in startups worldwide. He is half Japanese, half Filipino, but lives all over the world. He was listed in the Forbes Under 30 Asia in 2016, Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year finalist in 2015, where he bootstrapped the company and its expansion into Japan and the US, and exited in 2015. Today, Ko is currently sits as venture partner at Bit2Me, Spain's largest crypto, as you know. Hello, Ko. How are you doing?
Hey guys, hi Javier. Hi Min. Great to be here.
So the way we are going to do it, we are going to ask different questions to Min. Vamos a ir preguntando diferentes cuestiones a Min y va a empezar Ko con ello. Adelante, Ko.
Yeah, well, Min, we just wanted to start off, I guess, with a little bit of intros, right? You can say, if you can kind of give your brief background. I know we already, Javier said a little bit of a bio, but hearing it from you firsthand would be great. And
of course,
a little bit how you got into the blockchain ecosystem and where you are now.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short. Thanks for the intro. I started my career as an investment banker in the technology space. So I've been always fascinated with internet, mobile, new media companies, and of course, fintech is a huge part of it. I come from a finance background, but also technology. Kind of putting that together has always been very, very exciting and interesting for me. At one point in my career as an entrepreneur, I was recruited to go to Korea and work with other executives to build a fintech company. That's where I really started learning about cryptocurrency and the technology behind cryptocurrency, which I believe is so much more important, which is the blockchain technology. And when we acquired a cryptocurrency exchange in Korea, I started going deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole of the history, and I got more excited about, being able to be a part of a change in the infrastructure side of how we, change how we work in the financial industry, but also coming up with new and exciting, new industry and new products coming out of this new technology called blockchain, and how cryptocurrency facilitates all of that for us. So I started the Icon project, just wanting to be a part of this movement and the community. Just wanted to learn, and I think the best way to learn is to go deep into starting your own project and doing, trying to do something different, but same at the same time. The way you learn is you try to replicate or to copy, and to try to see like how you could bring yourself up to speed with what's out there and how you could compete and learn, and and then you go from there, and then you learn through mistakes, and you bring your own angle, your own design, your own taste to it, and that's what Icon is about. It's about just being a part of this greater movement called blockchain.
Yeah, and you've done. What a journey it's been, right? You've not only the Icon project and ICX, the token. It's known worldwide. We're big fans of it. We've listed the ICX token on our exchange and our wallet even before you and I met. And so having you as part of the investment team, as an investor in a company is is an honor. So thank you for what you do for blockchain. Thank you for what you're doing with us. And speaking of which, we know that you have the full support of the Korean government, if I'm not mistaken. Brand names like Samsung, Line. What is this? Could you shed some light on this collaboration and how that's significant in for the everyday person to understand what exactly you're doing and how that impacts our day-to-day lives.
Right. So, you're absolutely right. We have very strong roots in South Korea. That's where we have a lot of development happening, and we have a lot of activity, as you mentioned, with different government. There's not just one government, but there's several government departments in South Korea that try to use the ICON technology in various ways, mainly on the decentralized ID side of things. But ICON itself is a very global project. We're open source. We get participation from, the last time I counted, about 35 to 40 countries from around the world. We have validators that are keeping our network up to date and secure. And at this point, we have a lot of applications and development happening outside of Korea. So, I think we're far beyond just Korea. We're very global. But going back to South Korea, it's still very interesting where we have partners where they try to contribute to not just only the ICON ecosystem, but also the adoption of the technology especially in the enterprise and government space, as you mentioned. So yes, we are partners, and we work directly with some of the larger enterprises. To be very frank, it's been a very, very slow process because obviously, very disruptive technology such as blockchain, and it just doesn't. It's not very easy to replace a legacy technology in enterprise that enterprise are using. So but there's been strong adoption across, and we've been slowly getting our groove. So it's been very, very positive.
You've been around for a while. The ICON project's been around in crypto years. A very, very long
time,
right?
Exactly.
I'll give the mic to Javier here, because I know he wants to kind of run through that and ask about
we've been going deeper into the project. We find it very, very interesting. You highlighted that is very important to go decentralized and the blockchain technology, but in the case of ICON, what would be the goal and the vision for the project?
Sure. From the very beginning, we saw a use case of interoperability, a need for interoperability between different blockchains, mainly because we were working with different enterprises and government organizations that wanted to run their own blockchain, although they were using our blockchain. They didn't want or wasn't comfortable using a public blockchain. And we still see, at least in the foreseeable future, enterprises will slowly ramp up, and they will slowly be more and more comfortable using a public blockchain. But as of now, a lot of enterprises are used to, having control over their own network or their own systems, right? So, we're seeing a lot of siloed blockchain, and that's what we've been seeing. And obviously we foresaw a future where, there's going to be many, many different independent blockchains. And as you have seen over the past, few years, Ethereum hasn't been very scalable. So there has been a lot of, applications that were building initially on Ethereum, but decided to build their own blockchain, such as, I think, Flow is a good example, or there are a few others. So, we're kind of going into the future where you see many different, independent blockchains, and, ICON, we've been developing a design and the architecture that is fully decentralized that could bridge these different blockchains together. And once you connect into the ICON network, you'll be able to be automatically connected to all the other networks that's connected to the network. So that future is very, very close. And as you know, today there has been different bridges. We believe we do have one of the premier and the most sophisticated bridge design and architecture, fully decentralized, and we're going that path. So once we have that fully ready, I think it's gonna be a very exciting future for us.
Luz, sounds great. We are sure you are very, very excited. Since 2017, we've seen a tremendous boom in that period of time. A lot of things happen, and you mentioned that one thing the project is working on is interoperability. That's something that is coming. Is within the technology of Icon 2.0 that we will see it. Could you make us a brief introduction of the improvements that this version is going to bring?
Yes, definitely. So as Cole mentioned, we've been around for over 4 years now. So in blockchain time, that is a very long time. Within those 4 years, we've learned a lot. We learned a lot about our own system. We've been experimenting a lot with our community, building different application on top of Icon. We've been getting a lot of good feedback. So, at one point about 2 years ago, we decided, hey, what we've built initially is not going to cut it with scalability of our network. So, knowing the flaws and the mistakes that, we intentionally looked into and gotten a lot of these like iteration and feedback, we decided to upgrade our network from a completely different design and completely different architecture and language as well. So initially we were building on Python because Python is very quick to build, but we decided to go with Golang, much more scalable language, especially on the server side. So it's going to be very scalable. And then we'll be using Java, the most popular language from our enterprise partners and people that we've been working with, and something that adds something that's different to the blockchain community. We will be using Java Virtual Machine. It's going to be, we've talked to many people who's excited about Java Virtual Machine, which is something very unique to the Icon ecosystem. We're also going to have EVM compatibility, so it gives an additional option to Icon 2.0. So Icon 2.0, you can think of it as a complete system upgrade that is built for scalability, that's built for, giving more options to the developers out there. And we think it's going to be very unique. And on top of that, it's going to be what's going to drive the interoperability technology that's going to be built around called BTP, Blockchain Transmission Protocol. And that's going to be what makes Icon very special. We're going to be able to connect to many different blockchains, and we'll be able to scale that to the next level.
Well, as you know, there's a lot of developments in the industry. One of them is the DeFi ecosystem as well, the tokenization of the assets. Is there going to be some kind of evolution in Icon 2.0 regarding DeFi and regarding tokenization of real estate or securities?
Yes. So, we know that many of our community developers have been experimenting with DeFi, not just only on Icon, but also on other different platforms. And, this entire DeFi ecosystem, around the world has been very exciting. What makes Icon a bit different is the fact that we wanted to make DeFi more inclusive to the broader community. Inclusive meaning it's still very difficult to bring, just regular people with bank accounts and telling them to go to an exchange like Bit2Me and, not only purchase crypto, but move it to your own self-custody wallet. And you got to teach them how to use a self-custody wallet to enter DeFi ecosystem is just very, very difficult. So we've actually, went about and talked to different partners in our ecosystem to build a new type of wallet that is very integrated into our banking system today. So without going through exchanges, you could directly go through, sign in with your email. So it removes some of the complexities out there of self-custody wallet. And then you were able to, participate in DeFi and connect to your bank account right away and start using DeFi. That's one. And as you said, we're starting to explore more into, the equity and security tokens and real estate and all of that. It's a very, very, I think, fine line at the moment. I think you've seen Coinbase in the US, where Brian Armstrong told us that they're having a very difficult time to launch Coinbase Lend. I think that's the reality today, is that, once you start wanting to work with securities, you just got to be very, very careful to, tread along. So
tread carefully, yes.
Tread carefully. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm personally very interested in security tokens, but we're we don't want to make the wrong moves, and we want to talk to the right people and work with the right industries to make sure that we're doing everything the right way. So that's where we're at the moment.
Yeah, we need to go step by step, as you said. But we are working the way. We are working the way. Also, regarding the NFT growth that we are experiencing in the ecosystem, is there going to be any launching to consider in the next months?
Yes. So NFT is another very exciting space. NFT has been coming along, since CryptoKitties, now to a much more wider mainstream audience have been trying to participate in NFT. So it's great that we have more creators who's never heard of NFTs before participating and helping to grow. Creators are awesome in bringing into the crypto industry and our community, because they are essentially influencers themselves with mass audiences that bring attention to the cryptocurrency industry. So all of that has been, I agree, has been very, very exciting, but still we are at a very early stage of experimenting with, what are the limits to NFTs? Like, how do you do things differently in NFTs? So at Icon, similar to what we do from the very beginning, we talk to some of our partners, I think, and what we try to do is we try to, it's not that Icon we, actually produce applications ourselves, but we work with different developers to try to build a very supporting ecosystem around NFTs, meaning try to create synergies between different products. So when you have a creator and want something, and then you connect it to different developers who are willing to build the features that they want, and so on. So we try to create that very inclusive community and culture within Icon. So we have some very exciting work in the NFT space. We have a project called Project Nebula, some beautiful images, and it's actually a game. So you could buy digital assets that actually you could play directly into a very well-made game interface. And then we have a marketplace called Craft. It's very similar to OpenSea, but even out there today, you don't see too many outside of Ethereum, a open marketplace with very easy to create your own digital asset type of platform. So, but these are still very early and experiments that, I think we're very comfortable working on, but it's brings a lot of excitement to Icon ecosystem.
Well, it sounds fantastic. Min, you mentioned that you are working with interoperability. That's super important to communicate the blockchains. You said that DeFi is part of the developments, the upgrades, NFT, stable coins as well, if I'm not wrong. But also from the coding side, you mentioned Ethereum. Is there anything that you are doing to enable also the interoperability with this blockchain specifically?
Yeah, so what we're initially trying to do is eventually our goal is to connect directly to Ethereum. But at first, we're going to, we're launching a side chain called ICE blockchain. It's sort of Icon and Ethereum put together. So it's ICE. And
I see,
yeah, we're going to try to bring other, we've already, are starting to bring other EVM compatible applications to the Icon network, and being able to bridge that with the Icon network and the assets around it. We have, but aside from that, I mean, we have, very exciting working group. We're already implementing our interoperability technology with some of the major blockchains out there, such as, Polkadot and Near Protocol. These are all, near completion, at least for the version 1 of it. So we'll start to see different assets in different blockchain come into the Icon ecosystem and vice versa. And even NFTs, where, I hold NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain, which I, would love to bring into the Icon ecosystem and vice versa. So, being able to choose which network that you want to hold your asset is going to be very, very complex. But at the same time, we need a very elegant design for something like that. And I think we'll be, one of the premier partners to be able to present that to the industry.
Well, it sounds great. Thank you so much for the insight, the information that you are sharing with us today. Just for ending my part, now Go is going to go with more things. Some people maybe ask themselves, what is the ICX, the token? How does it work within the blockchain, the Icon blockchain or ICX? How does it work?
The utility.
Yeah, the utility, exactly.
Yeah, so at a very, very core, ICX is a utility token. ICX is very important in the token economics of the Icon network, being able to incentivize validators from around the world to run their own node, being able to keep a record of all the transactions and records of the Icon blockchain. So to keep record keeping very secure, you need ICX to be able to incentivize these players. That's at a very core of it. But we've started building other utilities and infrastructure and use cases around ICX already. And a lot of people don't see that, where, in the Ethereum, for example, you see Ethereum, being a smart general purpose smart contract platform, very similar to Icon, but you have other players such as Celsius or Nexo having their own tokens, and you guys have your own tokens as well. They're building on top of Ethereum with ERC20 tokens. And, although it's bringing utility to Ethereum, but, it has its own side benefit, right? Utility. What Icon is that, what we try to do is we try to build that utility directly into the ICX itself as well. So we've supported projects like IconFi. IconFi is, very similar to Nexo or BlockFi, or, of these in the Ethereum. But what we're trying to do is, but instead of having another token, ICX is sort of the base token for those applications. And, we're working towards bringing more benefits to ICX through, an actual business that's building on top of Icon. And on top of that, the most important technology, the interoperability, ICX is going to be the main focus and use of this interoperability technology. And ICX will be able to give people or, liquidity providers or relayers, we call it, of these like that facilitate between different blockchains. So we're incentivizing these relayers and people who participate in the BTP or the interoperability ecosystem to be able to take advantage of discounts to other token through Icon. So it's a little complicated, but in layman's terms, if you hold ICX, you'll be able to buy other assets, digital asset at a discount price. And that's another benefit to the ICX. So we're trying to bake in, not directly, but also indirectly, how to bring more value to ICX. And I think that's what makes ICX very, very unique in the ecosystem.
Well, it looks great. I will definitely hold my ICX for the next months. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this detail and information.
Thank you.
The mic is for you. Go.
For the next month only, Javier. No, I'll hold it longer, man.
Longer.
Thank you so much for explaining all of that, man. I mean, my take on it is, you're doing such an amazing job bridging the centralized world and the decentralized world, but at the same time bridging the decentralized world as well, and then incentivizing the entire ecosystem through the ICX utility coin, which I think is, extremely, what's the word for it? Like,
it's important.
Important or necessary almost, right?
Yeah.
In bringing forth this technology into the masses. And since the beginning, you've always, the Icon project, what I liked about it was bringing in these institutions on board. And I know that's a slow and tough process. Believe us, here in Europe and Spain in particular, we are very familiar with this process. It's not easy, but it's necessary, right? And speaking of which, we talked about Icon, the ecosystem being global. I'd love to kind of talk to you about what made you come into Bit2Me, and how does that play out with your plans within the European ecosystem, the Spanish-speaking world, Latin America, for all of our viewers here as well. Millions of them out there especially in the Spanish-speaking world, just eager to kind of find out straight from you what's your plan.
Yeah. So thanks for asking that, because I'm very excited about what you guys are working on. We try to be very supportive of, not only what's happening in the Icon industry, but in the Icon ecosystem, but also around the world, where we see a lot of opportunities for education and new users to come in and learn about just cryptocurrency in general, and hopefully that will flow into people learning more about the Icon and ICX and the Icon technology and everything that we have to offer. So I think the first step for me personally and for everyone around me has always been, let's be supportive of other platforms that are building to bring new users into our the ecosystem. So and then when we look into the Icon user base and our community, we do lack heavily on the European side, and especially the Spanish-speaking world. And and then we've made a decision. Hey, we don't do like large investments, but let's start doing something, get things started, working with aligning ourselves with up and coming partners like Bit2Me. Get to know you and start building relationships to see like how we could work together to bring ICX, but not only ICX, but crypto to in Europe. So of course my interest is getting more Icon out there to areas where regions where it might not be as well known. And I think Spain is a very exciting country and region. And of course, it's not just Spain that you guys are targeting, but you guys are expanding rapidly to Europe, and your traction and just looking at a pure investment perspective has been very attractive, I think. But even outside of that, just your vision and the purpose and how strong your team has been. Everything has been very attractive, and it's something that I would love to be a part of the journey and see where things go.
Thank you for that. I mean, it's an honor, and on our side as well, right? Like partnering up with Icon, that's aligned with our strategy as well of just forming these alliances with companies like Icon, what you're doing. Going back to what we said, bridging centralized world and decentralized world, and pushing mainstream adoption, right? So, I was going to ask you the question actually about adoption. Bringing adoption into this ecosystem. What's your take on this strategy? But I think you've answered that already in what you mentioned. That for now is all of our questions for you, Min. I have a lot of other questions that I'd love to ask you, and we'd love to invite you here to Spain personally and host you here, and we can ask you these questions in person and do more of these question and answers. I think this is the first of many, hopefully. And
anytime, Min, you are more than invited here.
Yeah.
Yes, after I think people are starting to travel more, be more open. So yeah, hopefully I can make it out there, and I would love to meet your community and see what we can do together as we move forward.
Yes, mentioned, as Scott said, thank you so much for bringing us a better understanding of the Icon ecosystem. Is very important for the Spanish speaker countries, and yeah, this will be the first but not the last. So it's been great. I mean, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate your time, man. I mean, having you on here for our audience directly, the founder of your organization, it means a lot more than you know. So I hope
means a lot.
We can return a favor one day, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you, man.